everybody, welcome to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. Well, we've got a good one today, I believe. Do some more fabrication. I need to build some fencing. And when I say fencing, my deck rail I built for my house. And when I mean house, I mean my deck railing. And as you all know, we've got our puppies out here. Look at these guys. There's Tilly, Molly, Raven, and Bourbon. And the blonde guy down there is Maverick. And we got Lucy outside here. Lucy, you ready to catch your frisbee? Come on, Lucy. We'll set the camera up. We'll get you on camera, Lucy. We don't get you on camera very often. Lucy, you ready? You ready? There you go, good girl. Bring it here. Why don't you just drop it? You used to bring it back, what happened to you? Okay, I guess one and done with you today. But currently we have the dog run that we built that I left provisions for a gate here, a gate on the other side there, and then I'm going to put a big gate down here. But what we're going to be working on, today is a little bit different part of this. It's inside the house, believe it or not. How you doing, pup? Settle down. I know. You guys need some food. So when the puppies were much smaller, we had a fence here that we bought off of Amazon, and they got these little poles that go into the floor here, and it worked until they got about another month bigger. And then they were able to clear it because they could hook their little feet in here and climb right over it. So we got to fix that for one. So what I'm going to do is build a bigger fence that's taller, vertical rung so they can't climb it, but small enough spacing that they're like the deck railing, that their heads won't fit through. And then we're going to have a walk-in door, like a walk-in door here. And then we'll have another dog door that allow them to get to the dog door over there. So that's the game plan. I think I got some ideas how I want to build it, because I think I'm going to come straight over this way with a walk-in door here. Then from here, I want to angle it back to that corner so I still have access to my bathroom, but actually go to that corner so that I can put a dog door some way midway so they can walk in and out. Here's some tubing, 1.5 inch, 1/8 inch wall, way overkill. And here's all my rebar that I've already cut up into 4-foot 9-inch lengths, because the stuff came in at 10 feet, but it had bent ends. And it's not necessarily workable ends. So I cut them off to make it so my fence can actually be 5 feet tall, which I think is going to work out perfect. Or not perfect, but it'll work, is what I'm saying. The cool part is, yes, that tubing is way too heavy duty for the interior, but I'm also figuring on gates. The gates are going to be, I want them sturdy, and we'll see how that goes. So what I got to do here, we're going to bring it in. Let's go to the board here. So the goal is to make uprights. I'll have a top bar, and the bottom bar is going to have a flange. The upright is going to have a flange that hooks to the floor. Then I'll have another bar across the bottom here, like that. And then I'll be able to do my rebar this way. We'll miter these corners up here so we have a closed in, nice smooth closed in. And then we'll just butt this up against here, but then the rebar will go in here and I can weld it. And we're going to put, I'm thinking right now, 3-inch on center all the way across. And then over, we'll do one section that way. Then we have another section that'll be very similar to it. When I say similar, I guess what I'm saying is it's going to have another piece that goes back this way, like we talked about, toward that door. Same feet coming down. But then I'll have a gate from here to here so that we can swing this open and shut. Now, debating whether this should have its own, for the gate, we should have its own little, I'm not going to get this right, own section. Or do I build the gate inside here? So I want the gate, I want it to be open, so when you open the gate, you can walk through vertically. You don't have to duck under a pole or anything. Long-term goal, and I want to have a dog door in this part as well, possibly. The goal isn't to keep the puppies locked outside forever and ever. The goal is to have it so all dogs can go in and out freely. But if in the case of when we have big, large family get-togethers, and I want to be able to, saw a shadow out there. It's my dog. It's Faye. We can actually put the dogs in the kennel area. They have food and water, as they always do. And they'll have 4,000 plus square feet to play around in and not be underfoot or in the house when we've got a bunch of people at the house. Not everybody enjoys dogs as much as we do. So we can actually quarantine them with plenty of space without feeling like we're locking them in the basement or locking them in their small kennel area for the whole day and stuff like that. So with that being said, let's get busy. I'm going to drag in some tubing. I'm going to figure out some more, go back in the basement there and figure out some more measurements of to what lengths I want to do certain things. So I'm going to build one section, get it done. Then I could install it if I want, and then I'll build another section. And we'll just keep building pieces because I think it's going to be maybe 3 sections that I'm thinking about in my head to get this completed the way I want. But I also want to have access to be able to put food and water to the dogs without, to be able to refill their food and water without necessarily having to open the pen and have them escape. Puppies are puppies right now. They don't listen as well as I'd like them to, but we'll be working on that. We've been working on bringing them in the house, spending hours up in the house with us. One of them even spent the night in our room, slept with us in the bed, and it was pretty awesome. And slowly working off 5 of them that we have left. So we had an opportunity these dogs to go to other homes. But the other homes we didn't feel were, let's call it, I'm going to say this out loud, I'm not being snotty about it, they weren't worthy. Just to give you an example, we had 2 different people had reached out to us and they said, oh, cool, we breed doodles. We'd love to have one of your puppies. And, you know, if they bred them like we breed them, where we're bred our dogs just one time and then they're just going to be part of the family or find homes, good homes, that's fine. But I didn't want to contribute to the puppy mill situation. Matter of fact, we've had Faye fixed already. The goal was one litter of puppies. Didn't know it was going to be 9, and that's it, one and done. And I just couldn't picture these puppies living in a kennel area with a dog run that's very small, limited social interaction, stuff like that. They're just breeding stock. That's what I pictured in my mind. It may not be as bad as that where they would have went, but yeah, we could have sold them and got money for them and had less puppies than we have now. But that didn't set well with me. I wasn't gonna let that happen to any of our puppies. So right now, the 4 puppies that have gone to other homes have gone to awesome homes where I know the people, we know they love them. We actually get videos and some pictures of them where they're currently at. So, you know, they're happy. So I might be stuck with these 5 puppies, but I'm not stuck with them. I love these things to death. They're awesome puppies. I'm going to teach them all to do some things. Fetch Frisbee would be the primary thing because that's fun. And just enjoy them. We'll have 9 dogs in our household. And most people would go, I had no way I'd ever do that. That's fine. It's not your thing. It's ours. All right. Onward and upward with the build.
Alrighty, here we go. We're off to the races. We're going to start off by cutting material. Now this old Ellis saw, I've had this saw for going on 25 years, believe it or not. And it's been an awesome bandsaw. I use it for cutting just about everything. And the other beautiful part about it, it's a miter saw. So you'll see me in this video swing this head around just like I did there. And I can cut my 45s, I can cut 22s. I can do all kinds of different angles with it and, you know, cut bunches of parts at once. Now, the weld table you saw me build not too long ago on the channel, and I've got it set up, you know, with drilled and tapped holes around the perimeter, all over the top, and I also have it so you know, when I can bolt things to the side, like you'll see here in a little while, so I can actually make perfect 90-degree angles when I fasten stuff together. That's why I took particular amount of time. Time for a new saw blade. Darn, that saw blade that was in there only lasted a couple years. Unbelievable. They just don't make them like they used to. All the saw blades that I use are made in USA. They're awesome blades. It's a 610 Veritooth blade, which that means there's 6 teeth to 10 teeth per inch. It varies. So it allows me to cut some thicker stuff, and it allows me to cut some thinner stuff without just ripping the teeth out the blade. But as you can see here, I'm putting my clamps on the side here. They're just hold down clamps like you use on a mill or whatnot. And I'll probably end up making me some steel plates and stuff like that, or bars to do instead of using my clamps like that, and have something more ready. Purpose built for these, and that'll stay with the table, stay on the table, because the nice thing is I can loosen them up, rotate them 90, they're out of the way. But as you can see here, I'm pulling that up there to a perfect 90. Then I can put a clamp there, and another clamp probably right there on the corner here. See, I checked my clamp, I checked it right there. Getting ready to weld and realize, maybe that corner is not quite as tight as it needs to be. Throw a clamp there, boom. Weld the inside, weld the outside. I got a perfect 90-degree corner. Now, one of the things I realized pretty quickly is I'm going to need to build a new tool in the future, and I'll probably bring you guys along for that ride as well. I need something to support. See what I did with the chair there? And it's too high, too low, too everything in between. So there again, I can make micro adjustments there with my level, make it match the table, and do something a little larger than my weld table. Now, obviously, if you had a big weld table, that wouldn't be an issue, but it would be nice to have something I can create a support. So once I've got the rectangle completed, as you see here, I start fastening on the rebar. Now, all this rebar I cut at 4 foot 9 inches, and I cut it as close to the same all the way across as I could. And as you see, every now and then I'm going to have to stop and belt stand a few pieces because they're, maybe a 64th, which is about 15 thousandths too long. And I started sanding some that way with my disc sander to get them to fit. And it's not all of them to drop in there, but then when they do, I can just tack a roo. And I've got I got the block underneath. I'll talk about it at the end of the video again. And I cut these 2 pieces of plywood I cut them in my chop saw the same way. I did not measure this out. I just made the rectangle, started laying blocks in there, and where the cookie crumbles is where it's going to be. Now, the other thing you see on this weld table that's kind of unique, I wouldn't say it's unique. I primed it because I laid it all out so I could drill and tap all these holes, and I just used primer as my layout die, so to speak. I was going to strip it all off and get it back down to bare metal, but it has been actually pretty handy to leave the primer on. It doesn't have any surface buildup. It will ground through the primer just fine. And you can see the ground hanging right there to the right of my table, just hanging on the edge of the table. It makes enough contact to weld well. And I've had really good luck so far on everything I've welded on it, just by grounding to the table and having it sit on the table. Normally the paint, I'm guessing if you used a weld-through primer, maybe that would be a little bit better. But this is just your basic Rust-Oleum brown primer. The other beautiful part about that primer is it allows the splatter. You got weld splatter will stick to raw metal like nobody's business. And what it does is allow this raw splatter or the splatters to not stick to the metal. I have hardly any of those little weld BBs sticking to the table, which is fantastic. So, something I didn't realize it would happen, it happened. There you see me using my 90-degree Hercules 90-degree die grinder that's battery operated. I got a wire wheel in it. That thing works great for just cleaning up welds like I did there. Look at me just standing there admiring my work like I'm some kind of genius or something. Now, right now, I got to make feet. These feet have got to be, welded to the bottom that's facing down right now. And I'm going to have 2 holes so I can anchor these fences to the floor. That's going to be the goal. And so far, so good. So I'm back there drilled a pair of them. Then I used one to use the pattern. I made 6 feet altogether. Only ended up using 4 on this whole project, but I'll have more for future need if I need it. Never can have enough mounting feet. Like in the bottom side of the screen there, you can see next to my tape measure on the rebar there. There's the 2 There. Oh, I grabbed one. Oh, I grabbed the other one. You had to look quick, folks. You might want to back up and take another glance at it if you want to see it. And I'm just centering it up on there with my tape measure, and then I'll just weld it in place. And just eyeball and square there. Now, you can use a square like that on the table and eyeball it. You just bring it up and go, does it parallel? Is it not parallel? Here we go. Once those feet are welded in place, you know, it's done. It's done as far as I'm concerned. There again, a little bit more work with the old wire wheel, the Cheek Poker 4500. And the overhead hoist has been handy. I've used it a lot to save my back and my arms and my, you know, just my neck and my everything else that I could strain. This has helped me flip it over. Now, I could muscle that thing around. I could, and I have. But put a clamp on the end there. Here we go. Buzz, 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 buzz. Putting that bead of weld around each of the rebar pieces. And I'm also welding in the corners that I had not welded on the face of those pieces of tube yet, because I wanted to lay flat on the table. I just welded the inside and the outside of the miter just to hold things in shape until I was done with the flat table work, and then I buzzed the little corners in. There you go. There he is. He's using that 90-degree grinder again. I can't recommend this thing enough, folks. You get to your local Harbor Freight. This is not sponsored by any stretch. I wish they would. But yeah, that works great. And that thing right there is just standing up on its own. That's how square and flat it is. And it's, you know, not really a testament to how good my floor is, but we got to make a little room there. I tell you what, since I built that shelf to the right over there, or to the back, now to the left on the side of the shop, we got a little cleanup here, just a little cleanup between processes. That shelf has cleaned up my floor, so I've got all this room to do all this stuff. There he is, just kind of muscling it around. Oh, what are we doing now? Bringing in some more tubing. So from the stockpile next to the shop, gonna cut up. Now this is gonna be the 80-inch section. Doing the same thing, pretty much identical to what we just did. Well, is this the 80-inch one, or is this the fence? No, the gate's been built. You can barely see it. We'll talk more about the gate in a little bit. I went to my local Menards in the Midwest. Here we got a Menard store. It's like your Home Depot type place, only it's more regional of this area. And found some big Kate hinges. I was trying to figure out what kind of hinge I could weld on there, you know, to make this thing functional. And I did find some hinges that worked really well, modified some things a little bit. You can't see it from here either. You know, you're looking at the motorcycle there, it's still apart for the last 3 years. That'll come back together someday. This is all part of Michael's adventure to, you know, finish projects he's got going and work through all the content that he has just laying around the property. He's been collecting this garbage forever. And there again, like my wife calls me a hoarder a little bit, but when you organize it in totes and stuff and you have a lot of it, are you still hoarding? Or are you a procurer of things you are organizing and may use at a later date? There's a lot of things I use at a later date. I'm just like, I'll bring it to the house. I know, and when I scrap stuff up, it's finally scrapped. All right, where'd he go? Oh, he's got some more tubing. I gotta have a cross piece for the bottom. So, but the rebar you can see is all piled up there on the sawhorses in the bottom left corner of your screen. It is, I've consumed about half of it for this project alone. I will consume the rest of the pieces when I build my other 3 gates that are going to be out in the yard. But the nice thing about building what I did interior to the house right now with this fence is a proof of concept that it works good. The hinges work good. The latch I build at the end, and you won't see me build the latch. You'll just see it at the end and how in the before and after shots. And I encourage you to stay for the before and after shot at the end, because I think, oh, there's the boss. Oh, she left. Guess what? We had to go eat. We had some relatives visiting us, and it was time for me to take a break, and we went and grabbed a bite to eat, and then I came right back to work out here. This was actually the next morning. Yes, those are the same clothes I was wearing yesterday. I try to take it easy on the boss and the amount of laundry I create. So if I'm already in there, it's not for continuity in the video. I will wear 45 shirts if I have to, depending on how much time goes by and how many different segments of video I'm recording. This just happened to be, I'm still going to put these dirty clothes back on because I'm out in the shop doing dirty welding stuff and grinding and all that fun stuff. And, you know, that's that. You can see the fan right behind me going back and forth in time lapse. It's funny to see things in time lapse, how much things are really moving in the background. Something that's a steady, slow movement looks like it's just racing back and forth. But I found a little fan like that in the back corner because the air conditioner's back there. A little other mini split, I should call it, in the back corner, just that going on low and just blowing across the room, moving that air around a little bit more, really helps maintain the balance in the shop as far as temperature goes. I can't see it on the thing right now, but I set the temperature at 72, and even on 80, 85, 90 degree days, my shop will get up to maybe 73, maybe 74. But there's no humidity in the air, and it's just really comfortable workspace to be in. So I highly recommend the Mystic Cool mini splits. They're, again, not sponsored. I don't get a lot of sponsors, and I get contacts, and you guys may or may not know this, but because I don't usually talk about it much, but I get 3 to 4 to 6 to 7 emails a day on people cold calling, reaching out. You want to do a sponsored video? We watched your show. We think you'd be a great fit. Blah 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 blah. And sometimes those stupid things they're asking about, hey, I think you'd be a great fit. And kind of look into what they're doing. It's like they're selling kids' clothes and baby clothes. I'm like, obviously you're just sending out mass emails. But then there's some I've turned down some lithium batteries or LiFePO batteries because I've received no less than 10 LiFePO batteries, I think, over the course of the years I've been doing this on the Marina channel videos. And there's only so many I can use. I've given a few. I've actually given away 4 sets of batteries, four pair of batteries, 100 amp hour, 12 volt batteries to friends and family, just because they can use them, and I don't have enough. I got more than I need, so I just pay it forward, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, the videos, the advertisements you see come on, it's skippable ads. That's where I make all my money off of YouTube. And when I say all my money, the money that I do get, which doesn't, this video won't even come close to paying for a project like this. By the time, people watch this video, I might in the course of a year, might see enough payment to maybe, $50, $75 for this video. But the one thing I like to do this for is it might inspire others to see how I attacked the project, how I did a project, how I'm using my weld table, for instance. And they go, oh, I can build stuff like that. If all I need is a couple more pieces of things, and I can do exactly what he's doing. And it's also hopefully inspires people to get up and go out to the shop and just fabricate something, anything. Most of the stuff I like to build, when I build it, sometimes I build it overkill. This is, for a dog kennel inside, it's overkill. There's no question about it in my mind. But it will last forever. And these sections of fence that I created, if I decide to do something else with it, there's a lot of material whether it's rebar or the tubing, that I could salvage. Scrap some of it, salvage some of it, or maybe I just use these as panels for something else. I just don't know. But they will be around forever and ever. They live on in the scrapyard and be turned into nuts and bolts and build another car out of it. Who knows what's happening? As you can see behind me right there, that gate's just hanging there with no rebar in it. We're going to get to that. Just be patient, please. Get up and go grab you another cold snack and some pickles, and just sit there and you can hit pause. Don't want to miss any of the action, but come right back and finish watching how this thing's going to go, because we're taking this one from the beginning to the end, folks. There's no question about it. I had to use my ladder there to get up there to stand, because it got to be safe. You want to be safe. I don't want the boss to come out with me laying on the floor unconscious and bleeding out. That would be a tragedy. There we go. We got that one done. So all that's left is let's clean the table up again. Yep, brush. What's on TV? Oh yeah, Blue Gabe. Yeah, so what are some of the? You leave comments below if you want, or on the channel. What are some of your favorite YouTube videos you like to watch? I like to watch Blue Gabe. I watch Vice Grip Garage, Fab Rats, Dig Drive DIY, K6 Outdoors. Golly, there's so many. Van Wives is another one I like to watch. Sailing GBU is good. Just a whole bunch of different videos. My wife says, how can you stand to watch so much YouTube? I said, well, sometimes I'm watching it for content creation, as far as what were their camera angles, because you don't realize when you see something like a bike video where you see the bike passing by somebody. and then down the trail you see the bike passing by the camera again. That person has to ride down that trail, put that camera, set it up, and then ride back up the trail, and then capture the video coming through, and then go back and grab the camera, move it. And those videos take a long time to create. You just don't understand the stuff going on in the background all the time. Videos like this, I like to put time lapse on because I can have the TV, you know, just a little noise distraction in the background. Here I can hear videos. I don't necessarily always have to watch videos, but and then sometimes I just turn on my music on Bluetooth on my little box and just let that play in the shop while I'm working. Because, you know, if I play music that isn't free to use for this type of stuff, it's, you know, you get copyright infringements, and the next thing you know, somebody's, you know, taking money from what you created because you copyrighted it, even if there's just background music on a TV, on a radio. So it can be kind of a lonely time when it comes to ear entertainment, but it's what us creators like to do. You know, I get a lot of joy of posting these. I like watching to see how many views I get. The previous fabrication video did really, really well. And compared to my last 10 videos, it was ranked 1 out of 10 on my last videos. So, you know, we've got over 600 views. Now, for me, that's not bad for this channel. You know, some people would be disappointed if they didn't get 250,000 views in the first, you know, 2 days. So here I am, ready to talk to you folks.
Alrighty, folks, we've got a lot of work done here. Just gonna show it off a little bit. So this is the fence panels that I'm putting in the basement. I showed you the old fence panel. When I get this installed, I'll show you before and after and a little bit of functionality. I actually put 2 of these 5/16 anchors in the floor. These are the screw anchors that you drill a hole and they're not Tapcons, but they're something similar. Got these at my local Lowe's lumberyard, but they look like this. This is a 5/16, I believe. Yeah, actually it says 1/4 by 3 inch. The socket's a 7/16. Drill bit size is a 1/4 inch drill bit. So these are 1/4 inch. Thought they were 5/16, but I did drill 2 holes in my floor. Some people go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you drilled holes in your concrete floor in your shop." You guys have seen the floor in my shop. It's not pristine. It's a floor to be used. So I have one 80-inch section here of fence. 80. I forget what this one was. 72, 6 foot. And then I got the gate here, which is, I wanted a big enough gate that I could comfortably walk through or push a lawnmower through if I had to. And that's in through the house if I had to. I don't have to. Almost 39 inches, over 3 feet. They're almost 39 inches, over 3 feet. But what I did, I'll bring you in a little tighter here. And you can buy these. These are for wooden fences and different things like that. This is normally a longer piece. So what you see here started off life as this. Obviously I've shortened it. And this. And I've shortened that by sawing it off right there. I wanted this piece and this piece because I wanted a heavy duty hinge. And a gate hinge, like a, let's call it an industrial farm gate hinge type thing. These are designed to normally go through like a 4x4 or a fence post. And then you can also, that way you can actually take these bolts, you have one on either side of the post, just like I do here. And you could screw it in, or, you know, in or out to adjust your gate hang. Now I started off with it perfectly square. Once I install it, I can move it around if I want to. I hope you guys didn't look too close at my welds. They're not my best work, but they're not my worst work, but they will hold for the rest of my life and then some. So how well does it work, you ask? Well, this, I'll just show you. Look at this guy. Now obviously if I was going to have this outside, so I can open this thing up past 90 in both directions easily. And right now I just have one anchor on the floor on the back side right here and one on the front side over there. Just 2 of those anchors. And you can see how this fence is still, it's gonna be solid. It'll bounce a whole lot less once I get the other 2 anchors in. when I install it in the basement. And you guys are probably thinking, Michael, you drilling holes in your basement's floor? Yes. It's just concrete floor, and it's going to be a little hole. And if I decide to remove stuff, it's easy enough to back these out. The nice thing about these, you don't have to worry about cutting off any stubs or drying the studs down to the floor. I can just back these out. A little bit of cement epoxy, so to speak, to right back over, and there's no hole left. Does it hurt the integrity of the floor? No, it's just a round hole. So the plan is, I could do this gate lock one of two ways. I could go ahead and design it right now and have a thing that goes here and goes clink, you know, just kind of a piece of steel that goes here and doesn't let it go back and forth. But the puppies bouncing of this could have a little more leverage and bounce things. Not worried about breaking it or nothing, but I think it's going to be better when I put this 80-inch piece is going to go across. This is going to cross the room, and then this big 80-inch piece is going to angle toward the current dog door and anchor it down. So it made it a 3-piece. I was thinking about making it jog it. Then I got to looking, I'm like, let's not make it any more complicated. It's going to look messy and not as clean if I make it in multiple pieces, too big of pieces, whatnot. So now all that's left is I'm not even going to wipe it down. The best and worst thing I might do is wipe it down eventually after I find out I like it. And then I'm going to clear coat it. I'm just going to spray it with clear coat and preserve they call it patina, preserve the rust on the rebar so it doesn't get any worse. Plus, when you touch it and handle it, it won't leave rust on your hands. Once you clear coat it, the clear coat will kind of like soak through that. I'll get you Rust-Oleum clear coat, and it'll just kind of lock everything in and seal it up and preserve it there for a long time. I've done that with other things in the past, and it works great. And that way, when you start handling the fence and stuff, you don't end up with stuff on your hands. I'll have to wipe all this tubing down with acetone because it comes with a certain amount of, let's call it, when they make it at the mill, whatever they're doing for lubrication, it ends up with that on it, and it also helps be a little more of a rust preventative while it's traveling. I've got the rest of my sticks of tube you saw in the beginning of the video still out there on sawhorses. I took them out of the truck. But the other thing I did here is this particular hinge, I've got it so I can just lift this off and set it aside if I want. So if I want this gate clear out of my way, I can just take it off and set it to the side. Now, I am going to figure out in my dog kennel food and water dispensing system. I have some things in mind of turning some stuff out of ABS, 3D printing it, and making it so it fits in here so I can actually fill and water from the outside and keep it going that way. The goal, the long-term goal, right now we're trying to keep the puppies and the adult dogs, and we're bringing the puppies in little by little into the house to get them acclimated to the house. Eventually, yes, I will have 9 dogs roaming my house. Some people go, oh, that's disgusting, that's horrible. That's fine. It's not your house, it's my house, and I like dogs. And this will help. This is going to make it easier. They can't get over it. They can't get through it. They can see through it better than what they got right now. It's all blacked out, as you saw. This will be more open and airy, more jail cell-like. But the cool part is I'll be able to open this fence and the dogs can run freely. And then when I want to separate them back out, I can just put them back out or all the dogs out and close the gate, have the house, have it peaceful and quiet for a little while we do some cleaning, and then turn them loose again. Future state, we're going to have a dog wash station in the basement and a cutting station because we just cut all our own dogs. We've always shaved our own dogs for years, just for the simple fact we have plenty of dogs, and it would cost a small fortune to have them professionally groomed on a regular basis when we had 5 dogs. We now have 4 adult dogs right now, and we're gonna have 9 because we got 5 puppies. So, and they're all gonna be. Faye's, I think, the smallest dog you guys have seen. Faye. Let's go check on her. Her and Maverick are outside doing. There's Faye right there. How's Faye? Where'd you do with Maverick? He was around here, sniffing through the grass. Oh, we lost ourselves a Maverick. Where is he? He hurt his paw yesterday, twisted his foot or something. There he is. What are you doing, Maverick? You can see limping a little bit, but he's up. He's putting weight on it. How you doing, buddy? You hanging out at the cat house, are you? Huh? You hanging out at the cat house? You making friends with the kitty cats? Come on, buddy. Let's go. Still got to do something with my old tonneau cover off my truck. And there's the tubing I got left yet to build the rest of the fencing, or the gates, for the outdoor gates. Chances are I was going to paint them black to match the deck railing, but I kind of like that rustic look. It's kind of our thing. And I'll probably just clear coat those as well. All right. Whew, I'm winded. I took a lap around the she-hop. Okay. We'll cut to the end of the video. Right now, I'm going to tell you folks, thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving comments week over week. Every time I drop a video, I got some, I don't want to name anybody out there. You guys just look at the comments, but there's several people that always leave comments, and I very much appreciate that. I can't say that enough. And thank you for subscribing and keeping the channel growing and going and coming along on my little journeys. One of the things I did want to show you, how did I get this spacing so perfect? Well, you saw it maybe in the time lapse, but time lapse is hard to see things. I had a piece of 1/2-inch starboard I laid down on the table, which spaced it front to back right on. And then I had this piece of wood here cut. Oh, is it going to go now? Had this piece of wood cut here that I would lay on it and pull up against it and tack weld everything. And then as you see in the time lapse, I stood it up. But did it come out perfect? Look here. This here is about maybe 3/16 wider than this spacing here. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, he measured all that. He knew what he was doing. No, I measured nothing, but I knew the length and I knew the height. Same way down here. This one's right on. This one only has about 2 inches down here as a gap. This other back one is the first one I did, and it came out perfect there. That's where I started. And then where it ended, came out within about the same distance as that, about 3/16 to almost a 1/4 inch difference. But when you stand back and look at it, you can't see it. Now, some people would just go nuts over that. And now that I pointed out to you, you still can't see it. Nobody's going to recognize it. Nobody's going to go, your spacing is, wow, that looks good. Okay. Be good to one another. Treat each other with kindness always. Make sure you get your hour a day in towards your project. I've been putting in way more than an hour a day on all my projects to keep them going and moving. One final note. My last video, or video before this one, to be in the last 2 videos, I kind of bashed pretty hard on this place I went to eat lunch at with the boss. It's a new place in town, near a town over from me. Brand new, beautiful facility, like I said. So I thought, I got to give them another shot. But I tried a different meal too. And by a different meal, a different time of day. So I rode my bike. It's like I did about 15-mile round trip. And I went to eat breakfast over there. And I'm a biscuit and gravy guy. And their biscuit and gravy nailed it. Is it inexpensive? No. But I was able to get a large juice, a biscuit and gravy, which is 2 biscuits opened up, plate covered in gravy, and it's the sausage gravy, and it has a little bit of spice to it. It's not too bad. And I got 2 strips of bacon, and I was able to eat 1 3/4 pieces of the bacon because part of the bacon they served me up was as black as my camera. And I don't like bacon that's burnt. I don't like burnt taste. But the rest of the bacon was cooked perfectly. So I don't know how I couldn't serve food or bring, if I was a cook, put something on a plate that's like, he's got 1 1/2 pieces of bacon he can eat. It had to be cooked right or it goes in the garbage, in my opinion. So, but otherwise, overall, good experience. 20 minutes, though. 20 minutes, and they can improve on that. To bring it from the time I ordered it and sat down, it was 20 minutes before they brought an order of biscuits and gravy out. A breakfast item that they're serving. They only have, keep in mind, about 6, I think, main breakfast things on their menu for breakfast, and that's it. And they got like an omelet, they got like a breakfast bowl, they got biscuits and gravy. 20 minutes. And the store wasn't packed. There was busy, but it wasn't packed. So they could work on their speed a little bit. I still left a decent tip for the waitresses because they did bring me my food. They have no control over how fast my food gets to me. It wasn't like that was just sitting on the shelf getting cold. It was warm. It was plenty warm. It was actually a little hot to warm, warm to hot, perfect temperature for starting to gobble it down. So anyway, I'll leave you with that little review. If you're over in my neck of the woods, feel free to share your comment or your experience down in the comments. Well, this is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And right after this, you're going to see the before and after, fade in and fade out of the results of this project. See you later.